So, lastly, we're just going to brain dump everything I know about coffee. And so, where does coffee come from? It comes from a fruit, and it is this little red cherry that you pluck off, and inside of that, there's the coffee bean. Um, does climate change affect coffee production? Yes, it does. There are many coffee grows between 800 elevation to 3600, if I remember correctly. And folks that are under 800 are starting to grow chocolate instead because they're unable to grow coffee. Coffee needs a dry season and a wet season. So during the wet season, you know, uh, the the wet season allows you to grow the buds. But if it keeps raining, the buds will fall off. So it needs a dry season to actually make the fruit. Um, let's see, how long does it take to make coffee? It takes around 3 months. I think you need to store coffee for 2 weeks and dry it for 2 weeks and store it for another couple months. And it takes 6 different steps to go from fruit to bean. What else do I know? What How is coffee processed? There's three ways to process coffee. There's washed coffee. There is uh, black black honey, and there's natural. So natural, black honey, and uh, washed. So most coffee you drink in Starbucks and stuff is washed coffee. Next, you have black honey, and what's the difference? Is black honey, you have they peel the skin, right? But they keep the fruit and they dry it with that. With washed coffee, they take everything off and then they have just the bean. With natural coffee, they keep the full fruit and dry it. So a lot of baristas like natural coffee. This right here is black honey, as you can see, which is dried in a special way. And you can get some of the flavor of the fruit in there. How many steps are there? There's like 6 different steps, from drying it to going from drying it to actually making the coffee, because it goes into storage. You have to weigh it, check for quality. There's 6 different steps in there just to go from there, from fruit. And so the other thing is how much fruit goes from, how many fruits when you pluck them. It's around like 25% of coffee actually gets processed. So if you pluck, 100 fruits, probably like 25 of them will actually make it into the batch. Yeah. Let's see what else. So the farmer we met, story time, right? The farmer we met said that he was affected by climate change because the rainy season, instead of being for 2 months, was from, I think, March to December. Like it was like really long, and that what happens there. And he's in a higher elevation, so what happens there? His buds, since there was no dry season, they just fall off, and you can't really make coffee that way. So yeah, I think it's fascinating to see how coffee is made. It's part of our culture, but we don't really know what it really takes to make coffee. And for me to go to El Salvador and kind of see the whole process of how coffee is made, I have an appreciation for coffee. Just like, now wine, when I drink wine, I know that the work it takes to make wine. So, and I know a lot more about coffee than I did before. So, yeah, it's a lot of work, but coffee's delicious. So, anyway, this is a long video. If you have any questions about coffee, comment below, and I'll try to answer them. All right. Thank you. Bye.